As much as we'd like to think we're impervious to tragedy, the truth is that it can strike at any time. Loss is usually unexpected, and it can leave us feeling heartbroken. It can be especially difficult to find hope when life hands us these circumstances. This is exactly what 83-year-old man from a small town in western Turkey discovered when he experienced a life-altering tragedy. Just as he was certain that all hope had vanished, a silver lining miraculously appeared. 83-year-old Ali Mies lived a simple life with his wife and son in a small town in western Turkey. One afternoon, tragedy struck the Mies family, and Ali watched as everything he worked for vanished in the blink of an eye. One morning, Ali was attempting to light a wood stove in his home so he could cook breakfast. He accidentally poured too much gasoline onto the flame. The entire thing exploded, setting his house on fire. Ali and his family barely made it out alive. Ali's neighbors spotted the flames and immediately called for help. Firefighters showed up shortly after and extinguished the inferno, but by the time they were done, all that was left was a smoldering pile of wood. Ali stared in horror at the remains of his home. He couldn't believe that, only a few hours earlier, he was standing in his kitchen ready to cook breakfast for his family. Tears streamed down his face at the realization that he and his family were left with nothing. Everything that remained of his home was unrecognizable and the Mies family was devastated. Not only was the family distraught over the loss of their home, but they'd also owned several cats, and there was no sign of any of them. The realization that all their beloved animals may have perished was too much for Ali to handle. He felt utterly distraught. His pets were like family members to him. However, among the devastation, there was one shining beacon of hope. Ali heard a scuffling sound underneath some of the wooden rubble. When he moved closer to the charred wood, one of his cats, Sarikis, came climbing out from underneath. Ali couldn't believe his eyes. It was really her. Ali was dumbfounded by the discovery. How had Sarikis survived the fire when literally nothing else did? The lucky feline, whose name translates to blonde girl, couldn't stop purring. She was just as happy to see Ali after the terrifying ordeal. Sarikis immediately climbed into Ali's outstretched arms and nestled in. Even though she wasn't injured, she still needed some kind of comfort after surviving a life-threatening fire. Ali couldn't stop kissing Sarikis and clutching her close to his heart. She was one of his favorite pets, and even though his family was now homeless, he saw her as a sign of hope that things would turn out okay. Unfortunately, Ali and his family had to leave Sarikis so they could be rushed to the hospital so they could be treated for minor injuries. Members of the humanitarian group Turkish Red Crescent were there waiting to offer their assistance as well. The rescue team didn't come alone, however, they had a big surprise for the Mies family. While Ali and his family were being treated, rescuers brought along Sarikis. They cleaned her up and fed her a proper meal so she could be permanently reunited with her owners. The members of Turkish Red Crescent couldn't wait to finally bring the clean and cuddly Sarikis back to her owner, and the reunion was just incredible. Ali was beaming as he was handed his furry beacon of hope. Ali embraced his cat as though she were his child. The entire experience seemed surreal to him, but at least Sarikis was still part of his family's life. After all, she was all he and his family had left. Before Ali was released from the hospital, he sat down for some photos with the Turkish rescue team who helped him through the tragedy and took care of his favorite cat while he was being treated at the hospital. Ali left the hospital with a bandaged right hand. But other than that, he was in good health, albeit slightly shaken up. Even though he had just survived a harrowing situation, he seemed happy. The surprises didn't end there, either. The government sent a team to help Ali and his family find new living quarters, and a GoFundMe page was created to offer financial aid. So far, Ali's page has collected about $6,000. Ali's wife was happy he wasn't letting the tragedy ruin his positive attitude. Their family was becoming comfortable in their new home, and as long as Sarikis was around to snuggle, Ali didn't mind all the changes. It was incredible how Sarikis was able to change Ali's mood so drastically. When he thought back to the day of the fire, all he remembered was his heart shattering. But once he saw his cat, it was as if the pieces came back together. Ali and his family were incredibly lucky to be alive and healthy after such an awful event. Sarikis represented hope when it seemed like it had completely vanished, and each member of the family would never forget it. Sometimes when all hope seems lost, Something as small as a beloved pet can remind us that we have the strength to overcome whatever situation life throws at us. I hope you like this video. Then please hit the subscribe button and click on bell icon to never miss the video from our channel.